This is the Genesis GV60 Magma, and it's a tyre shredding all-electric beast designed to eat Porsches for breakfast. But I'm not here to test this vehicle. I don't want to test it. I'm here to test its vanilla cousin. One motor, not two. It's called the GV60 Advanced. It's got less bling, it's got less power, and it's got one less e-motor. But it's also more than $40,000 cheaper, and this is going to be the volume seller. It's going to sell in much higher numbers than the Magma. So this is technically a facelift, and there's a few changes on the exterior. The front bumper has been reworked, and it gives the car a little bit of a wider look, a little bit more modern. Plus, you get new 19-inch alloy wheels exclusive to this model. And what I love the best is the wheel arches and the side skirts aren't black anymore. They're body colored, which just makes it look a little bit more premium. Plus, there's a new rear diffuser out the back. Overall, it has improved the aesthetics, in my view. Oh, and it also goes further on a charge than the Magma, but there's two important questions that I want to answer in this video. The first is around brand awareness. My mum doesn't know who Genesis is. And the second is around the price. This is $88,000 before on-road cost. It's a small luxury EV. And there's another small luxury EV that's very popular and very good, the Zeekr X. It's $50,000. So is this value for money? Let's find out. So what is going to bring you to this vehicle? Well, it's unique. It's got a reasonable warranty. It does have 3 years free servicing, which is good. And there is a concierge service. So every time you go to service it, someone will come out and pick up the car and give you another car, drop it off. So you never need to waste a day or leave your house or work or whatever. So that's a pretty good positive. Not many brands do that. However, this brand also has agency style sales, which means you go into a showcase, which is another word for a dealership, and you cannot haggle with a dealer. This is the price, $88,300. Whereas I feel like in the US, where it's like a normal dealership for Genesis, where they're selling a lot of these, you can go into the dealership and you can haggle with the dealer. You might knock 10 grand off this, who knows? And that's something I think Genesis might need to rethink. So let's see how it goes. This thing has a new 4th generation 84 kilowatt hour battery pack, and this gives you a range of 561 kilometers. That's about 6% up on its predecessor, and 561 kilometers is very impressive. The cherry on top is the charging rate. This thing does 350 kilowatts, which is a lot, and you can go from something like 10 to 80% in a claimed 18 minutes, which, that's probably 500 Ks. That is pretty good. Peak torque and power is reasonable for a single motor rear wheel drive unit, and 0 to 100 as well, not too bad, but I will say this, on the road, it does feel a little bit slow off the start. These things are heavy, and dual motor Magma, probably a little bit more poke. One more thing I forgot to mention about the Genesis is that you can get it serviced at more than its 9 or 10 showrooms, showcases, dealerships, whatever they are. You can get it serviced at more than 160 destinations because Hyundai owns this brand and they can service the car as well. So in a way, it's giving you a lot more options. It's got a very good network of support. Now, the interior. This is rather nice. I do like what they've done here. It's a little bit futuristic, it's a little bit sci-fi, but ultimately it's really, really comfortable. This is one of the coolest features about this car. Check it out. Crystal ball, gear shifter. Yeah. This is a very nicely finished car. It feels solid, the way the doors thunk shut, and the leather quality as well is really nice. The seats are supportive and comfortable. They're not like super body hugging, but then again, I don't think this car is designed to be a super sports car, unlike the Magma. The steering wheel feels great as well. I love this. However, the previous version had the 2-spoke steering wheel, just a big chunk in the middle, and I kind of like that more, but this still works. Drive mode here, really easy to use controls. I like what they've done with the interior. All the surfaces are covered in premium materials. Wherever your hands fall, it feels nice. It does have a sense of, an upmarket vibe, if you like. You got this pretty cool 27-inch single screen that's kind of split into 2 zones, infotainment here and your driving details here. But as you can see, you've got the maps in the background as well. It's a good setup. I like what they've done here. And the whole thing is like super duper high res. It looks great. The menu layout is improved as well. I like what they've done here. It all looks really, really nice and fairly easy to use. There's not too many things to figure out here. It's not as complex as some of its Chinese rivals, for instance. Oh, and the reversing cameras are pretty good as well. You've got 3D mode as well. Let's have a look at this. Whee! Hello, everybody. Nice. The heating and cooling controls are really nice too. You've got a little touch screen in the middle here. Nice, and that tells you where you're putting your air, and then heating, cooling here. And just the fact that you have this permanent section with physical controls, I think that's important. I really like that. I know not everyone does. Some people are happy to have one screen, like in the Tesla Model Y, for instance, but me, I prefer this setup. We've got 2 cup holders here, this huge area under here. I suppose it's, you know, you can just put stuff down here. There's a big cubby here, 2 USB-C ports, a 12-volt socket, and it feels open and airy. I like that, and especially in the back, we'll get to that. It just has a nice feel to it. And, oh, one of my favorite things, check this out. Instead of a glove box, you've got a drawer, which is really handy because it keeps everything flat and upright, so everything's not going to spill out when you open it. Overall, the vibe in here is very tech forward, but very, very luxurious. And I like the fact that, check it out, you can do a digital key. Not too bad. So you just use your phone. Compared to rivals like established rivals, like Mercedes, BMW, this actually stacks up pretty well. I think the overall quality of the materials is very, very good. And yeah, everything feels nice. All the touchy-feely bits has a nice tactility to it. Back seat, and I'm realizing pretty quickly right now, this is a small SUV. I do not have a lot of room here. Can't really get my feet under the seats. Super comfortable, you know, same leather, same nice contouring as the front. I love how you've got door pockets here. You've got sun blinds. You've got a lot of amenity and 2 USB-C ports, but it is quite cramped. Okay, let's have a look at the cargo space, power operated. Ducktail spoiler kind of splits the window in half, so that can impede rearward vision a bit. And again, like the back seat, this is not a massive boot. You do have a bit of storage under here for all your charging cables. There's a 12-volt socket, a nice cargo cover and tie-down points. But overall, if you're looking for something with a bit more space, you might find it elsewhere. Okay, well, so far so good. Let's see how it drives. Is this going to be the element that really pushes it across the line for that $88,000 price? So, around town, in the suburbs, this car is very quiet, it's very relaxed, and you'd expect so because they've put extra sound damping in the doors, they've got extra thick carpets. The idea is to make this car quieter and, yeah, more premium, if you like. Ride comfort is pretty good as well, especially around town. Out on the open road where I am now, you do notice some of the big potholes a little more at higher speeds. Let's say, you know, 3 figures, 100 Ks. But in general, it does ride quite well. It's not class leading, but the tweaks they've made to the suspension do make it a nice cruiser. There is a little bit of tyre noise at higher speeds on the freeway as well. It's not chronic, but maybe not quite as good as some of the other upmarket EVs on the market at the moment. In terms of driver engagement and what it's actually like to drive on open country roads like this, it does a surprisingly good job. They've made a number of subtle tweaks to the suspension, but also the steering. The steering definitely feels a little bit more direct than before. I like what they've done here. And in general, the suspension also does a great job through corners. It sits really flat. I wasn't expecting this base model to be quite as precise through the corners. It's actually quite a lot of fun. In terms of power generation, you know, 350 Newton meters doesn't sound like a lot, and this is a heavy car, but it does a pretty good job. You know, when you get on the throttle in sports mode, response isn't too bad. And on the other side of the coin, deceleration is very good. The updated brakes do an excellent job here. And I also really like the regenerative braking settings as well. You can put it in one pedal mode. It'll come to a complete stop, and you can set it at a really high level as well. So you're not burning your brake pads. You're just using the motor to help slow down the vehicle. It's, yeah, it's good. I like it. While roll-on acceleration is pretty good, standing starts, not so good. It sort of takes its sweet time to build speed, and that's because of the vehicle's weight. EVs are heavy things. Some of the improved tech they've put in this Genesis includes active noise cancelling, which again makes the cabin a little bit quieter, and they've tweaked some of the aero around the front A-pillar here, so you get a bit less wind noise around the front windscreen, which is good. The other tech upgrade that I quite like is the autonomous driving systems. You hit cruise control and then you hit auto steering, and it does a pretty good job. Like on the freeway in traffic, it steered the car really nicely. I felt comfortable switching it on and letting it do its thing. And yeah, they've upgraded it. I can't remember what it is, version 2 of their highway or lane keep, but it's, yeah, it's really quite effective. So while this drive is on a curated course and we don't get as much time in the vehicle as we would normally have during a 7-day test, the early impression is fairly positive. This is definitely an improvement on its predecessor from 2022. And that car wasn't that bad anyway. It's comfortable, it's quiet, and it's surprisingly fun to drive. They've done a good job. So I've sat in it, I've driven it, and I quite enjoyed the experience. But the fact of the matter is, a vehicle like the Zeekr X represents far better value for money than this vehicle, and brands like BMW and Mercedes offer far more badge value. But this has the turnkey package. You don't have to haggle on price, you don't have to worry about servicing, it's all taken care of. And for some people, that complete package will be very appealing. And honestly, if you're thinking about getting something like a Lexus RZ EV, you probably want to put this one on your shopping list as well. Well, guess what? I decided to have a little blast in the Magma, and it is batshit crazy. Oh, yes. This thing has simulated audio mimicking, you know, a petrol engine or what have you. This mode actually sounds like a spaceship, but I don't hate it. It kind of makes you engaged in the drive a little bit more, and it's also got simulated gear shifts, which I also actually quite like. It won't be for everyone. In some ways, it could be seen as a little bit gimmicky, but I'm enjoying this. I mean, part of it is that 478 kilowatts and 700 and whatever it is, it's almost 800 newton meters. It's a lot. This thing is fast. It is savage. It is brutal. It is very quick off the line. Launch mode is hilarious. You'll end up feeling nauseous if you do it too many times. The interesting dichotomy between this and its donor car, the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, is that even though this one has a little bit more torque, it's a bit more docile. It's easier to drive in comfort mode. It's a little bit quieter. It's not quite as raucous. It's not quite as raw. And again, I don't mind that. But it can also be very crazy. Magma button, engage. When you do the launch control, it actually struggles for traction. It's squirming at the rear. It's full on. Comfort mode is surprisingly good. The suspension softens up, the adaptive dampers, and impressively, it rides almost as well as the advanced models. At slower speed over speed bumps, it's awful. Those super sporty tyres, big rims, not pleasant. But on pretty average country roads, it does a pretty good job of absorbing bigger bumps and potholes and things. It's fairly compliant, but then yes, you've got the boost button and the Magma button. You flick them and it's party time. All right, so we've got 3 regular modes. We've got range, which is like eco. We've got comfort and we've got sport, and they're pretty good. But then you hit the Magma button and there's 3 different modes. There's GT, so Grand Touring, and then there's Sprint, and then there's My Mode. So you can set up all the parameters yourself to how you want it. But Sprint is pretty good. It's roll and acceleration is just, it's nuts. So this Magma is lower and wider than the advanced model, the rear-wheel drive model. It's also all-wheel drive. You've got dual motors, and it also has an ELSD at the rear, a limited slip diff that's electronically controlled. And yeah, it works pretty well. This thing punches out of corners with real venom. You still do feel the weight of this car. This is no flyweight, but the way it controls the body through corners, it sits so flat. It does inspire confidence, and the steering is really good too. I'm enjoying this. The massive 400mm brakes as well, they are impressive. But when you do give it a massive shove on the anchors, again, you do feel that weight. They are very responsive and powerful, but you can't fight physics. It's as simple as that. Oh, I forgot to mention the seats in this vehicle. They are excellent. They're 10-way adjust, full bucket seats, and they are like super body hugging. I really like them. And in a way, this is a really important car for Genesis because it's their first ever high performance model. It's their first ever BMW M or Mercedes AMG or Lexus F Sport. This is important, and they've done a pretty good job. The price is pretty high, but 130 grand is not piecemeal. It's good to see they've made a start, and the executives have told us there's going to be many, many more Magma vehicles, including a 2-door coupe super sports car. Will it be a Ferrari Slayer, or will it be like more of a Yang Wang U9 rival, something like that? We shall see. I look forward to it.